will obviously project for the rest.
Perfect. Okay. Good evening, everybody. I saw somebody liked pickleball. I took that up, but my sons don't want to play with me, so I don't think I'm very good at it. But I'm having fun. So I'm Ana Maria Ortega. I'm the Deputy Public Works Director over our community engagement. I know a lot of you guys are here to talk about bulk trash, but I wanted to take the opportunity just to kind of showcase who we are, what we do, and some of the other services we provide so that you guys have that information as well. Along with the PowerPoint, I have some handouts that'll go over everything in detail just so you have it. So if you want to take it home with you to take advantage of some of our programs. So I want to start with our mission, who is Public Works, where our department goal is to improve the quality of life in Phoenix through efficient delivery of our outstanding solid waste, fleet, facilities, and energy management services. So us coming out, hearing what you guys are looking at, what you guys need, that's what we're here for. And then kind of who are we? We like to say we're trucks, we're infrastructure, and most importantly, we're people. And so our division is comprised of 626 people. So our trucks are the trucks that you see every day, the ones you don't see at the landfills that are pushing the trash, dumping stuff. Our infrastructures, we'll go over that, is our facilities in our different locations. And then, of course, the people that you see are the ones that are driving the trucks, our specialists that are out in the community providing education, our call centers, and everybody that just is behind the scenes making everything run efficiently as it does. So who do we serve? We serve approximately 422,000 people on a weekly basis. We provide trash, recycling, and then other waste diversion programs to try to divert waste from our landfills. We have our facilities. We have 2 transfer stations, one located at 27th Avenue and then one at North Gateway that houses our material recovery facility. We refer it to as our MRF. It handles all our recycling. In addition, we have a compost facility at 27th Avenue, and then we have 6 landfills, 1 open landfill in Buckeye, Arizona, as well as 5 closed landfills throughout Phoenix. So some of the services we offer, there's mandated services that we have to provide, and that's your weekly collection of your trash and recycle. That's mandated. We go out on a weekly basis. If you notice, we don't miss you. If we do miss you, we'll come back out and pick you up because we're required to pick it up. So that's a weekly basis. Our transfer stations, we're required and mandated to make sure that we're operating them within regulation. So we've got a lot of people out there making sure everything's running, moving properly. And then one of the things that I didn't know prior to coming to Public Works is we have our active landfill, but we also are required to maintain our closed landfills. So we have 5 closed landfills throughout the city of Phoenix, and we're required to maintain them just to make sure we're protecting the air, the water, and the land that surrounds them, making sure it's staying good, and we're on top of that. And they do a very good job at making sure that happens. So kind of the fun stuff that we do. I know we're here to talk about bulk trash. So we went to appointment based. You allowed 4 collections a year, and you can make them at any time you want. I know some people said they wanted their quarterly back and didn't realize they could actually schedule their quarterly appointments ahead of time. And if for whatever reason you schedule it and it doesn't meet your needs, you can go back in, you can cancel and reschedule. So Eduardo or Robert will talk more about that as we finish the PowerPoint. What you also have the ability to do is drop off 1 ton of trash on a monthly basis using your city services bill. So if you get your city services bill, go to the landfill, you can drop 1 ton of trash on a monthly basis. So we also assist with illegal dumping. If we can find an address, what people don't realize is they dump their box and their trash and they either leave a piece of mail or the Amazon box has their address. We'll get that information. We'll contact that resident. We'll make them come pick up that trash. Otherwise, we do have the ability to do enforcement. So our staff is out there looking at illegal dumping, seeing if there's anything that can identify the person that dumped it there, and then we'll hold them responsible to do that. In addition, we assist the Office of Homeless Solutions when there's items in the community that are left there that we can come out and pick up and assist them with that. Some of the big fun things we do is our mega event. So we had Super Bowl, we had the men's Final Four. Just coming up in the next couple months, we'll have the women's Final Four. So for those big, huge events, because we have a very ambitious goal of being zero waste city by 2050, we actually look to those events to be at zero waste too. So we We currently, and I don't think that's changed, we currently hold where the only Super Bowl to have the most diversion diverted from our most trash diverted from our landfills. So we do that proudly. Most of our events are about 90% diversion so that we're keeping it away from our landfills. Household hazardous waste. So one time a year, you can call us and you can collect all your household hazardous waste, which is like your oil, your paint, and we'll pick it up at your door. One of the biggest ones that most people don't realize is hazardous. One for our trucks causes truck fires, causes landfill fires, are the lithium ion batteries, and you don't realize how many of them are in so many of the things we use. So your electric toothbrush, when it dies and it no longer wants to charge, we don't want you throwing that in the garbage. It has one. One of the things that was surprising to me is the little cards, birthday cards you get that sing. Those also have lithium ion batteries in them. So we ask, please don't throw those in your garbage. Hold on to them. Call, schedule. Our vendor will come out and pick them up at your door. In addition, we have some partners in the community like Batteries Plus that will allow you to donate or drop them off free of charge at their facility. So if you look at something, question, put it in a box, call us and we'll pick it up one time a year once you gather all the things that you have. Currently, right now, we're in a Christmas tree drop off. Tomorrow's the last day, but if you have a Christmas tree still in your house, you can take it to one of the locations, and we'll take it and we'll just ship it. And is it part of our compost facility, right? So we'll keep it there, divert it. Real trees, just real trees, yes, and with no lights, please. If you can take off all the ornaments and lights, that would be great. I forget so many of us have fake trees. So I spoke about our very ambitious diversion goal. Some of the things that we offer to assist us with that is eco stations. For those people that don't have your recycle bin on your property or in your alleys, multifamily condos, we have eco stations throughout the city of Phoenix where you can go out, put your recycle in there. It also provides education on the bin that what you can recycle, what's not allowed. Coronado is kind of snug right in the middle of two. So you've got one at Los Olivos Park on 28th Street in Devonshire, and then there's another one at Encanto Park on 15th and Avenue in Encanto that you can utilize. You know what? Let me check exactly where, and then I'll shoot it over to her. But yeah, it is at Encanto Park. We offer curbside green organics for specific areas. Huge lots that have a lot of vegetation, they can pay an extra charge to have a container dropped off, and they can just put just purely their leaves, grass clippings, and those types of things, and we'll pick them up. In addition, we collaborate with a lot of the schools. You can imagine how much food that goes into the trash can. So we offer them tipper bins that they can put it all in, and then that'll go to our compost facility, again, diverting it from our landfills. Right now, we're in the process of planning what we call our resource innovative innovation campus. I apologize. That's kind of our circular economy business park. We want to attract businesses that come in that have manufacturing processes or conversion technologies to turn waste into valuable products. So that will not only take it away from our landfill, but it'll also start to create jobs for the community as we start to see these things come in and hopefully turn our trash into valuable things. So I oversee our group of specialists. You have a specialist assigned in different areas, and what they kind of do is they provide education to the communities. They'll come out to different events, your guys' gain events. They'll hand out all the information that I have here as well. Some of the things they go over is just container issues. If you have a broken container, if your container, like in this one, it's she's looking for contamination in the recycling. If they're not recycling properly, if your container's overfilled, they'll provide education just to make sure that when our drivers come by, they have the ability to pick up your can safely and they don't have any issues. In addition, we talked about they investigate illegal dumping. They'll deal with bulk trash concerns. So if for whatever reason a resident puts out and there's glass or additional things that shouldn't be out there, they'll go out there and just let them know here are the things that you should be doing. Or if for whatever reason you're having an issue with scheduling an appointment or rescheduling appointment, you can contact your specialist and they can help you with that as well. We deal with alley concerns. And then we spoke about HHW. They also educate on HHW. If there's something that you're not sure of, they'll be able to provide you the information for that. And they do our recycling education. And then they also deal with early hour enforcement for those houses that kind of back commercial businesses. They can't pick up earlier than 6 o'clock. So if you're having that issue, our specialists will contact the hauler as well as the business and let them know that so that they're operating in the appropriate times. So that's kind of us in a nutshell. Here's our information where you can reach us at phoenix.gov-publicworks or myphoenix311 to request bulk pickup. You can request your any of your services. You have a can, you can go online and get it taken care of there. And then I will leave this up because your guys' specialist for the area is Adam Coda. That's his information, his email. So if you need anything, you're more than welcome to reach out to him or the information that's listed. Yes, ma'am.
The batteries plus picture batteries.
Yes.
Last time I went, which was within this month.
They didn't take it.
$5.
Oh, okay. I did not realize they put a fee on that.
It was just regular, like I was asking about my regular, like, big battery.
Okay. Let me look into that and then I'll provide Kristen the information of the ones that do accept them for free. Thank you for that. Yes, ma'am.
That all sounds wonderful, but about 6 months ago, my neighbor. He gave up and I eventually had to call him. Had it done. And a little while ago, somebody dumped on my house. So it took me 2 calls and 3 emails. I heard nothing from anybody. Nothing happened.
Okay.
And then a few days ago, maybe Monday or so, somebody by the name of Adam called me on the phone and said, well, what are you talking about? And I said, nothing out here, I don't see it. He said, I'm in your alley. So I said, well, I'm hanging up and going out the alley. So I went out the alley. Talked to him and it was gone. So I have no idea when they came.
Oh, no.
Nobody ever told me when they came
Came to pick it up.
to pick it up. So I still thought it was out there as far as I knew. But, so it is a problem. It is a problem.
So here's his
He was
information.
very great. He was a very
Yeah.
nice guy. That's the guy.
Yep. Adam. Probably. It's probably Adam. And that's who you want to call. Let's say you make that call, you get that initial thing. He's going to be your specialist you want to reach out to see where he's at in the process. Has he been out? Is he due to come out? So he's going to be your best.
Well, why doesn't someone tell you we're coming on Thursday or we'll be there next week? So you don't keep calling.
I think we probably, because sometimes, so there's a time frame of when they come out, but I think we could probably do a better job of just letting you know, hey, they're estimated to be out between this day or this day.
Great. No one ever told me in 3 weeks.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you talk to our call center or you said you left a message, right?
I called them, left messages, I sent 3 emails.
Perfect. Okay. I'll circle with you afterwards as well. Yes, ma'am. So you can go online and schedule, and I'll let Robert come up. And so if you guys have any, do you guys have any questions outside of bulk trash right now? Because Robert's our expert in bulk trash. Yes, ma'am. I would say to contact, if you want to contact, I'll put the QR codes on. If you want to contact us through our website or myphoenix311 and you make the report there, that way it'll go through the proper channels, it'll get open, and then it'll go to this specialist that it's assigned to. Yes, sir.
Can I say thank you for coming out here at like in the evening on Thursday?
You're very
We
welcome.
already deal with all of our shit. So thank you for doing more of it tonight, and we just really appreciate you and all you guys do. But it's so unseen, so unheard, and we just put our stuff out there and just hope that it disappears, and it does. So seriously, like it was really fascinating to see how much is actually available to us, and with our tax dollars and all of that. So just thank you for what you do, for what your team does. I'm sure you don't hear that enough, and so just we appreciate you.
Thank you very much. We do appreciate that. And that's what we're here for. So if we don't have any more questions, I'll turn it over to Robert so he can talk about bulk trash.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Again, my name is Robert Lopez. I'm the solid waste superintendent in Public Works. I oversee our bulk trash collection program. The one question about how to schedule an appointment, it's very simple. You go to the Public Works webpage /bulk trash. and the prompts will lead you right through the process. There's a big green button where you click to add an appointment. With that in mind, it's every time you schedule an appointment, it's going to be 2 days after your regular day of collection for garbage, right? So if your day of collection for regular trash is Monday, bulk trash will always be in your neighborhood on Wednesday. Um, the right now the biggest thing is that I'm hearing about is alley placement, right? So when we went away from our quarterly collection, we went to appointment based collection. We felt it was the right time to try and move everything to the curb, right? Because there's less liability on us, there's less potential for property damage. It's a lot easier for us to collect it and maintain who's keeping the stuff out, right? Who's putting the stuff out? You put it out in the alley, nobody knows anything. Nobody knows where it came from. It gets put out, it stays out, and it grows, and then it becomes a huge mess, right? With that said, there is an option if you really want to keep bulk trash in the alley. We can make that exemption. We just need you to let us know that you would rather keep bulk trash in the alley, and we can make that happen. So when you go to schedule an appointment, the system will automatically know to route your appointment to the alley. So if that's a major concern, is any questions? Yeah.
I don't know whether that option was reflected in the way the questions in the survey were asked. I know, and that's pretty major.
Yeah, and it does allow us having bulk trash out in the out curbside. It does allow us to better police the alleys and better identify true illegal dumping from bulk trash. When we did the quarterly collection, it would just get collected along with everything else, and we were never able to hold anybody accountable, right, for the illegal dumping. It would just go away with bulk trash, and it would just get wrapped up in the cost of that program, right? Even though it wasn't bulk trash that you all were putting out that needed to be collected, it was just everybody else's trash that just ended up in the alley. And now we have a dedicated illegal dumping team that does go through our alleys and collect bulk trash. I mean, illegal dumping, and we can better process that information and identify the locations where it's a bigger problem.
So how does that process work? Because there's been tons of stuff in my alley and I haven't seen it picked up. I haven't seen it put out.
Yeah, I think the biggest part of it is just educating our customers to let us know, let you all know that there is a resource available to where you can call and reach out to get that material cleaned up. Um, it's So right now we're within a week. If you once we get a report, and once we get a true report of illegal dumping, because that's the team that I manage, and right now we're well under, you know, a week out for those collections. But we have to get a true report of illegal dumping. We send Adam, in this case, would be the one to go out. He'll assess the alley. He'll get photos. He'll create a packet, send it to my team, and my team gets the collection vehicles out for pickup.
3 weeks. It has 3 weeks.
Yeah, it does move up, but right now we're within a week. It just depends on the time of the year. Right. And then you also keep in mind too that it's wintertime. There isn't anything growing right now. So in the middle of the spring and summertime when vegetation is heavy, that's when illegal dumping is going to be a bigger issue. And it does generate more during the summertime. But our team is well aware of it and able to do those collections. We just got to be notified about it. And if we have to do a better job of getting that word out and getting that information to us, so that we can get it collected, then we can do that. Sir.
It says go out front. I put it out back, and they would take my anyways out back in my alley.
Right. So
My question is, this matches this been in this other neighbor's alley forever.
Mhm.
And I want to pretend I'm them, or do I just give that address?
yeah, I can get the address when I'm done here, and I'll get it collected. But yeah, so it would be better to use the address where the problem is at. If and maybe get a hold of that neighbor and let them know that they can reach out and create an appointment for collection. That way we can get it collected. The first year or so, we knew that it was going to be a challenge for us to get everybody to automatically put stuff out in the alley. I mean, out on the curb, having put it in the alley for the last 40 years, right? So we tell our staff that when they go out to an appointment and they don't see anything out, check the alley just to make sure it's not out there. And if it is, then go get it.
Why did no one ever contact
Okay, so I can't say why they didn't. They should, right? Because that packet that I mentioned earlier, it does have all the information as far as who reported the problem, if it came from a resident or if it was, just an anonymous call or whatever. And then once my team completes that collection, then we let that inspector know, like again, in this case, it'll be Adam, let him know, hey, this collection's been done, this illegal dumping report is complete. and they should follow up with the customer. And I'll reach out to the supervisors tomorrow morning and let them know that we need to do a better job with following back up with our customer. Yeah.
So just to be clear, the exemption in our definitely neighborhood wide thing where we in neighborhood have to say, hey, we want it monthly, or is that like individually?
It's in it. Well, in this case, it's individual. If you yourself want that alley and you want your placement in the alley, we can make that happen for your property. If your neighbor likes it in the curb, we can leave it at the curb. Collectively, as CNA, if you want to all get together and say all of Coronado, we want it to be an alley exemption area, we can make that adjustment as well.
And then if it was at the individual level, that's the thing somebody you want to do the same process, or is that going?
No, I would have to do that on the back end. I just got to get a hold. You just got to get a hold of me and my team, and then we can make that adjustment on our system. And then once that is done, then you don't have to call every time you make an appointment. It's just one time. I just move the collection pin for your property to the alley, and then the system knows to go through the back. Yeah.
Yeah, I just was curious if you have any recommendations, not necessarily that it's illegal dumping, but I just think that there's still some confusion in terms of like people throughout the years since I've moved in have started accumulating stuff in the alley. So there's like several spots where there's like massive accumulation. And I noticed in our alley in particular, there's pests, like rodents,
Yeah.
because those areas become harborage points. And so, do you have any recommendations on how we can approach the city to do like a general alley sweep?
Yeah, that's actually absolutely doable. I can get with Kirsten and see about and work with Adam and the team and see if we can coordinate something to hit all of Coronado one time, get all the alleys cleaned up, and then start fresh from there.
Yeah, because sometimes I think it will make it better as a neighborhood for
Right.
us to then identify, hey, this is actually a legal dumping.
Right. And then again, it's just property maintenance that helps a lot too. Keep the weeds and the grasses down, the overgrown vegetation, keep that cut back to the property, keep it as visible as possible, and that does help. And then the customer engagement team does have no dumping signs that we can post on your wall. That will also help to deter anybody else from dumping there. I mean, it's not going to stop everybody, but it does help. And then as soon as you notice something, reach out to Public Works and report it, and we'll try and get out there as soon as possible.
Sorry, can you talk to responsibility for the alleys for picking weeds and vegetation and things like that? Like, isn't there something where the property owner, like, from one side to the other, kind of meet halfway with their
Right.
responsibility for vegetation?
Yeah, that's 100% correct. So the alleys are a shared use right of way. So every property owner is responsible from fence line to the center line of the alleyway to maintain their own portion of the alley, and that does go for generally for weeds and vegetation and illegal dumping. But we know how difficult it is for our team to go and knock on a door and tell you that you're responsible to remove somebody else's trash. On our side, as like we mentioned, as people, it's hard for us to have that conversation too. So we do our best to try and alleviate that problem for you and remove it ourselves, right? But a little bit of effort from the customer, it does go a long way.
I wanted to bring up another thing from our phone call this
Yes.
week. So you talked about with the illegal dumping, like actually reporting it as illegal dumping versus just saying like, hey, this will be my bulk pickup or something. Because you can then take that data, you actually weigh the bulk trash, you guys weigh illegal dumping, like literally like how much
The
it
tonnage,
weighs,
correct, right?
right? The tonnage. And that kind of information is then reported back to council, for
Correct.
example, so that they understand the scope and the extent of the problems, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's just why it's important to actually be clear with and be a partner with them on that kind of clarity. Whether it's illegal trash or it's your bulk trash or something like maybe it's your neighbor's bulk trash and they just don't know exactly how they're supposed to do it. Can we better communicate with them, but it's not necessarily illegal dumping. Like I think there are, a few caveats there.
Right.
But ultimately, please, if it's illegal, just actually report it as illegal.
Yeah, as illegal dumping. And then another thing too, we mentioned that you are allowed 4 collections per year, right? But there's limitations on how much material you can place out. It's 10 cubic yards per collection that we're allowed to place out for that service. But if you want to do like say 1 or 2 major cleanups of your property a year and utilize 2 of those collections for that one big pile, that's absolutely doable as well. You just got to let us know that you're going to have an excessive, oversized pile, and we just need it all collected, and then we can count 1 or 2 or 3 collections for that year for that pile if you have a large yard with a lot of vegetation. Before on that quarterly cycle, you would have to wait every 13 weeks before you can get it collected, and now it's really it really benefits you to do it when it best suits you and your household. When you're ready to have material out, you just give us a call and schedule that appointment. Oh, sorry, I didn't see you. Go ahead.
When we schedule kind of big community cleanups, what's the best way for us to partner with you to make sure that they can be there and kind of collect what we're doing?
So that would be Adam. He would be the area. He's the area guy for most contact between the neighborhood and us. That would be Adam. Just give him a call and whatever is going on and whatever services you need help with, he'll figure out who he needs to go to if it's not him and his staff directly or his team directly. Yeah.
I think I saw somewhere that another neighborhood downtown did switch back to like the quarterly pickups. Is that true?
So we have offered a couple of our HOAs and a couple of the neighborhoods to go back to their quarterly service. Basically the same way I'm telling you is that we can make the whole neighborhood an alley exemption and then kind of schedule them out, four times for the year. But right now we're at capacity to where we really can't offer that anymore. And that's why I'm telling you now that the quarterly isn't really an option. And then Coronado's so big; it's a large area. It's over 4,000, solid waste customers in that one neighborhood. So it's almost impossible for us to offer that quarterly and still do appointment based at the same time. So if you're interested in keeping your alley, like I said, we can make that exemption. And then Anna Maria, like she said, you can access that calendar and you can schedule it out right now, 6 months ahead. With our vendor, the one that is responsible for the computer system that does the appointments, we're working with them, and hopefully within the next couple of months we'll be able to schedule it out 12 months ahead. So if you already know you want to get ahead of the game and schedule all 4 right away for the year, you'll have access to do it. Anything else? Yeah.
I want to say
Sorry.
first, the schedule bulk trash for us is perfect. It was seamless. Almost to the minute that y'all were scheduled, so I prefer to have it on a curve.
Okay.
That way.
Yep.
Every single week. I don't know who does it because I have a job and I can't sit down and watch.
Yeah.
But landscapers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just I swear it's 10 minutes after your team picks it up.
Yeah.
It is so frustrating. Up and home on a Monday night or whatever night it is y'all pick up. And the trash is already full of yard.
Right.
And like, what would be my appropriate protocol? And it happens every week. So it's obviously the same.
Yeah. So I've been around in the business a minute, right? So I kind of get how it works. Most likely, those landscapers are providing that service somewhere in the neighborhood, right? They're charging the customer to trim the trees or the vegetation in on their property, and they're paying a fee to take it away, right? But a lot of those landscapers, they'll just drop it off in the alley because they don't want to pay the fees at the landfill, right? So I think as a community, you might want to get that word out to let them know that if you are paying for a landscape business or service, to make sure that you stress that you do want that material to make it all the way to the transfer station. It doesn't hurt to remind, whoever's doing that work for you to make sure and do the right thing and dispose of it the right way. With that said, then again, Adam's the guy. Reach out to him and let him know that you found another pile of tree trimmings or whatever, and then he'll get a hold of me and my team, and then we can make that problem go away.
So we coordinate with our landscaper to, like, we have one full trash scheduled for the 29th.
Right.
And the week before, he'll do a major cleanup.
Right.
Sort in the backyard, and I'll drag it up front the day to clean.
Right.
We coordinated with our landscape team that does it for us every other week. That has worked out great.
Yeah, that's a perfect way of doing it. When you access the system to schedule an appointment, we ask that you schedule the appointment first because there's availability, right? Schedule the appointment first. That way you know for sure that you have an allocated appointment on a specific day, and then put your stuff out. That way it's not out more than the 7 days before, and it doesn't become an eyesore, and it doesn't grow, and it doesn't get scattered with the environment. But that's absolutely the way it's supposed to work. You coordinate it with yourself or with your service, and have this scheduled appointment and put it out just before, so it doesn't become a problem. Sir.
I don't know if this is helpful, but we had an illegal dumping happening in our alley, and my back neighbor had a camera.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Which, she stopped me putting some 2 big boxes in the recycle.
Yeah.
So that's how she found out. But she also found out that someone else had dumped back there, so I called the city to let them know. They told me they had already found out because she had submitted the footage.
Yeah.
I know that's kind of weird, just having a bunch of security footage all over the world, but would that be something helpful for us, especially like what he's referencing?
Right.
This is happening every week. If we put like a $9 or whatever, $100 used ring camera
Yeah.
out there to figure out what the license plate number is,
Right.
would that be something?
Absolutely. Yeah, because we have access to, we have partners with ADOT, and we can track the license plate numbers and find whoever's responsible for that vehicle. And if we have clear video or photos, that goes a long way as well. Like Anna Maria mentioned, her team is responsible for investigating the illegal dumping. Before we put all of our resources to just go and send somebody to collect it, we do try our best to locate the responsible party and go after that individual first. One, to let them know that we're onto them and that we caught them, and to make them go back and get it themselves so that we're not paying for that. And then to document it, that way when it does happen again, we can go right to a citation on that same individual.
So in general, you're saying that the appointment system has allowed you to more clearly investigate illegal jumping and possibly find people accountable.
Right.
Not 100%, but it's better than before.
A lot better. Yeah, a lot better than before, and we're able to, like I said, better separate what's true illegal dumping from bulk trash, and make sure that we're calculating that tonnage correctly, and it's going to the right people, and the powers that be above us, they know how much is out there in true illegal dumping versus bulk trash. That's absolutely, helping that situation out a lot. Before, with the quarterly collection, like I said, people would put stuff out for their bulk trash, regardless of when it was scheduled to go by, and it would just sit out there, and then it would just grow and scatter around, and attract rodents, and homeless, and other issues that just becomes more of a problem. Now you're able to better determine when bulk trash works best for you. You schedule that appointment, and you know exactly when we're scheduled to be there, and you put it out just before the service, and it's gone the day it's scheduled. And so far, since the inception of the program in October of 2024, we haven't missed one scheduled appointment. There's been bypass services, right? Because there's still piles that are put out that we're not able to collect. Either placement is a problem or the material that is put out is a problem. But as far as missed service, we haven't missed one single appointment the whole time. Good job. Thank you for your work. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Very serious issue around here, Steve, huh?
Yeah.
All over. Everyone's fighting about bulk trash.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you got to think about it. Quality collection has been around longer than me, and I've been on the job for 30 years. So it's as long as I've been here, we've always had quarterly collection. So it's a big momentum change, right? To go to a different method of service, and it's going to take time. It's going to take time for everybody to really learn how to use it. It's going to take time for us to get a better handle on what we can improve on, what we can do better. Learn from what we've done over the last year, and then let it grow from there.
I was pretty annoyed when you guys switched, like hearing all the pros of it from you
Right.
specifically, and especially like handling the illegal dumping. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think I would change the way I voted on that.
Change the vote.
Yeah. Good job.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for that. Sure.
Tell me again if we like the appointment-based system, or it's worked well, but we prefer to put our stuff in the alley. You'd like to do that on a property by property basis?
Yeah. So I mean, it can go either way, right? So individually, right? Because your neighbor here, he likes it curbside, right? You may not. You want to keep it in the alley. It's easier for me just to put that service point on your property, that it's in the alley.
That can't be done online, but that.
No, it can't. Right now, it can't be done online, because I got to go through the system on the back end and just make that service pin, move that service pin to the alley manually. So I just have to get a hold of you and your address, or yeah, I can get your name and address before I go. Yeah, Adam should be here, but he doesn't know what he's in for tomorrow. Trust me. That's all right. He needs the work. Yeah. No, but I mean, if anybody here wants to have that alley exemption before I leave, I can take down your name and number, and I can make that adjustment tomorrow. Yeah. Did you have a question? Oh, okay, perfect. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Does anybody else want to say anything? Okay, all right, cool. Just making sure. So I hope everybody is actually really happy with that. When you know we started hearing a lot more about this issue on the Coronado message board, it was a little over a week ago. It was in between Christmas and New Year. There was a little bit of flack on there, like, oh, the CNA doesn't move fast enough. I hope we moved fast enough for everybody. Okay. Thank you. Our team, our council person, Laura Pastor's office moved really fast. Our public works team, our neighborhood services team all worked really fast over a holiday to make this happen for you. And I also really find it important to hear directly from the source. There were some questions like, hey, Kirsten, why won't you just sign this letter and we'll send it to public works? Well, because now we've gained relationships from this, right? Now we've heard exactly on multiple issues. Rather than sending one letter demanding something, we've actually solved, I think, a problem in a much different way than we would have if we didn't talk to them. So I hope you've appreciated that. I hope you, obviously, it sounds like you appreciate our friends here with Public Works and with Neighborhood Services and your friends here at the CNA. We really do always mean well. We do want to serve you. We're also volunteers who have full-time jobs and families and other things we like to do sometimes. So thank you all. Yeah. Oh, if you want, yes, please. Yeah. So we also have Greg here from Neighborhood Services. So our Neighborhood Services liaison is Frank Ramirez. I do have him scheduled to come on February 5th to our meeting, specifically to talk about the gated alley program, because that is still an option if you find that you and your neighbors who share an alley would prefer to gate that off because of certain other types of maybe illicit activities happening. I have also asked him to talk about blight, because there's definitely some blighted houses that are causing some issues. But Neighborhood Service has been very responsive on multiple of those houses. It's just understanding how best to work with them to make those kind of improvements to our neighborhood. So yes, if you'd like to speak. And then, yeah, again, this is just for the phone. But
Okay. Good evening. My name is Greg Gonzalez. I'm with the Neighborhood Services Department, and I can't see now. But thanks for having us here. And Anna Maria did ask me to come because part of the request was to talk about gated alleys. So I'll take that off of Frank's plate for next meeting and talk about it tonight. We work very close with the Public Works Department to get this done. And the gated alley program. So I've been around for a long time also. Robert and I are we're the historians of the city now. We've been around for so long, 30 years each, 30 plus years each. The only way you can tell me though is you start to see the gray. Robert just shaves it all off. But in 2017, we started a pilot program, gating alleys. And I think it was back in 2008 when the city council proposed to just close all alleys systematically. And the community came out in full force and said, absolutely not. We love our alleys. Do not mess with them. Leave them alone. We want them. So that was in 08. 2017, a resident came in, met with the council. I was one of the city staff that was called in to attend that meeting. And we heard their story about somebody jumping their fence and exposing themselves to the wife and young daughter in the backyard. So that got the action of city council, the attention and action of city council to come up with something to help neighborhoods. Because times change, things change, situations, issues change. They get worse, they get better. We don't know. So we figured, what could that be? And well, what do you do with an alley? We still have them. So that neighborhood wanted to gate their alley. So we started the pilot program with them to gate their alley, got it done. Then a couple of other neighborhoods, in Sunny Slope, they wanted to participate as well. So it was the same council member. And from there, we moved the pilot forward, did 10 alleys in that neighborhood. At that time, we did 10 alleys in each council district to gate. That was 2017. Fast forward to 2025, just wrapping up the year, we have over 1,500 alleys gated in the city of Phoenix now. And it is all based on resident request. It is not, we haven't proactively gated a single alley. So these are all based on resident request. I know the number, then I forget the number. In the city of Phoenix, maybe you will know, Robert, there's about 44,000 alleys in the city of Phoenix, or 14,000. It has a 4 in it. 4 million, but there's a lot of alleys. Okay, so 1,500 alleys. We're moving pretty good, and that's in a short period of time. If we really look at 2022, when the program was made permanent with a real city budget, we've really done most of the work from 2022 till now. It is a priority for our city council, so we have the program. There's some requirements that have to happen, and I'm just going to quickly go through them. So first, the alley must be a City of Phoenix alley. It cannot be private property or an easement on private property. So we're only gating what is an alley. There's things that look like alleys, and we do some research, and they're not alleys. The alley must have permanent sound fencing at least 5 feet in height along the length of the entire alley, and temporary fencing is not eligible for the program. Now, the good thing about being the person that started the program, I still go out and I still go with staff and we look at some of the situations in alleys, and what we're looking for is a barrier from the street to the alley. Now, the 5 feet, 6 feet really comes in at the corners, right? You need the height because a little fence like this at my age, I can still jump it. And this is really how I came up with the criteria of 5 feet is if I jump off of something 5 feet now in my 50s, it hurts when I land, right? I might not even be able to get up to 5 feet or 6 feet anymore. So 3 feet, we can't do because it gives somebody the opportunity to get behind that little fence, and then they have a safe haven, right? They think they're safe. They go set up. People don't look in their alley because there's no trash collection is no longer there, so they don't see it. They make a call 3 weeks later, they find out everything was cleaned up, but we didn't see it because we didn't go back there again. We didn't have a need to. So we don't create those safe places. But what we look for is that barrier. So if your house sits up and you have fencing or something and it's occupied that blocks the the pathway to the alley, then we take that into consideration. You don't necessarily have to have the fence at the alley line. You just have to have that barrier from the street to the alley. So when we look at that, we'll make that determination. What else? So we have the alley must not have extensive vehicle access and use. So we require petition signatures of property owners that have garages or carports accessed from the alleys. And I believe you have quite a few of those in the neighborhood. That is diminishing the property values for people. That's a diminishing value to property owners because the house was built with that intention. Now, if you have an RV gate, that's not your primary parking. You still have your primary parking out front. We don't view the RV gate as the same as we view a garage or a carport that is used for parking in the back. We cannot, the only way we can gate those alleys is if that property owner of that garage signs the petition that they're good with the requirements that are there. So it does happen and it doesn't happen. It just depends on that property owner. But yes, one person can kill a petition for the people along the alley because of that property right. The alley must not have parking for multifamily housing. So if you have multifamily and they park and they use the alley to access their parking, that's the only place they can park, then we cannot gate that. There's some instances we'll look at it. We can talk to that property owner. If it's a duplex or threeplex or fourplex, sometimes those are easy and they do agree to gate. You know, we can work with you to figure out who the property owner is and get their signature. And sometimes they don't want the access blocked. So, and then the other thing, the alley must not be used for commercial solid waste collection or commercial operations such as deliveries. So if you have commercial waste in the alley, we can't gate it because the expectation isn't for them to open and close gates.
Commercial waste means another company is coming in, not Phoenix.
Correct.
To collect.
Yeah, correct. So the sponsor of that big tournament that we have every year, yeah, we wouldn't, you can't have that. If applicable, city solid waste collection must be safely relocated to curbside. So that would mean that all this conversation that we have, if you want to move your stuff back to the alley, then we can't gate the alley, right? And we need the folks on board there. And then does your alley have City of Phoenix bulk trash or an exemption? If you have the exemption, that exemption is relinquished with your signature to gate the alley because then everything has to be moved curbside because we don't want the truck drivers, they don't have the time and resources to get in and out of their truck to open the gates. So how do you get your alley gated? It's a petition process. So the first thing we have is this little form. You'll check all the yes, no boxes. If you check a lot of no's, it's not eligible. If you check a lot of yeses and maybe one no, we'll look at it and let you know. But on the back is a petition, and what we need is a simple majority, 50% plus one of property owners to sign off on that. And then that gives us the majority. Now, we ask that you don't stop at 50% plus one, at least communicate with everybody to let them know that this could potentially be coming, because we run into situations where people stop at that number and then they met the threshold, but a couple houses in there didn't know, and then they're surprised and their trash is being removed, and it's kind of life changing for them at times. So yeah, we work closely with Public Works. We review the alley. So Neighborhood Services looks at it for our view of feasibility. Does it meet all these requirements? Public Works reviews it to see if it is. It's probably Adam, right? Adam. Public Works goes through the alley and they review it to make sure that they can safely collect your trash curbside, right, if it were to be moved. So if it's on a major thoroughfare and your trash will go to the major thoroughfare, that's not going to get gated, right? There's some safety things that they look at. And then our planning and development department looks at it to make sure that it's an alley, right? Or is there anything development-wise coming that we don't know about that would prohibit us from gating the alley? So that's how you can participate in the program. Is it effective? It is, and nothing's 100%, right? If there's a will, there's a way. I mean, people have crazy minds to do crazy things. They figure it out. But what we hear across the city and people that have it is it's been life changing. And when you get blue collared, typical male person who's a mechanic, and they call you after they went and did signatures, and they're in tears on the phone expressing their gratitude for the gates because they now feel safe because their kids can go in the backyard, and they bought them a trampoline so they can go play in the backyard because the issues that they were experiencing are no longer there, right? It's heartfelt, right? And so it is effective for people. Now we have people also who don't want the gates. They don't want the inconvenience of a combination lock to get into the alley and get out of the alley. And we communicate with them, we work with them, we talk with them. And some of those folks come around and they end up changing their opinion of the gates and the value of the gates. So what you get is the gates belong to the city. It's about $4,500 per gate, including permits. Yes, we pay ourselves the cost of permits also to do our construction. So you're getting about a $9,000 investment back into you for safety, right, with your alley. So with the gates being our property, we maintain them. We're now on the 311 app where you can call or go online onto your account, and if there's an issue with your alley gate, you can type in what that issue is with the gate. Gives us a work order. We come out, we work with our contractor, they get it fixed. If it's a simple lock thing, the combination doesn't work, sometimes the combinations will freeze. So everybody that lives on the alley, including the property owners, will get the combination. There's 3 locks on the alley, one for fire, because fire has to have their own lock, and they have a Knox lock. Then there's 2 other combination locks. One lock is for that block, and you have your own unique code, so that block is not shared amongst neighbors. And then the third lock is the utility lock. So police, public works, all utilities, the first responders have that combination. So utility companies have it as well. And we've had positive feedback from them also. It was hard for them to get used to the idea of having to open a gate to go work on their infrastructure. But when we hear from the people in the field about they would much rather work on their infrastructure with a gated alley than an alley that wasn't gated, because they come across things in the alley when they're not gated more often than the alleys that are. So they appreciate it as well. How long does it take to get the gate installed? Once we get your petition, and we get it reviewed and we confirm that it's gateable, it takes about 4 to 6 months to get through the construction process. Each gate is custom built for that location. So they're swing gates, they go 180 degrees each way. Yes.
Incredibly valuable information. I just want to speed you along a little bit because we're 10 minutes over.
Okay.
Our time.
Perfect.
And I just want to make sure that we're.
I'm used to going last and being cut off, so that's perfect. So that's it. It's a simple process. It is a little time consuming on your end to do that. Maricopa County assessor has all the ownership records and whatnot. Yes.
Well, pickup is during in that alley, they first have to get the bulk pickup.
Not first. Once we get the request and it's approved, and Public Works says we're good, we can relocate. Then everything's been approved because we have the 50% plus one. Then we send a letter out notifying that block that the gates are coming, and that's when we get all the phone calls. Yes. No. Zero. You pay zero. The very first gate we put in the first neighborhood, because we didn't have any way to do it, nobody wanted to come forward and say, we'll pay for it. That neighborhood had the means to pay for it themselves. Yeah, no cost whatsoever.
I've noticed the gates, but I never paid close enough attention. Are they designed to keep pedestrians out of it? Or, because our alley is a shortcut to downtown and mostly very harmless. Some people use it to walk back and forth.
Right, so they're designed to restrict access to those that belong back there, which are the property owners on that alley, property owners and residents on that alley, utilities and first responders. Right. No, 6 feet high and they're curved out, right? They have the curve at the top. 6 feet and they're curved right here. Yeah. No. They're that. And of all the cities around, because I get phone calls from other cities on how we did our program, we are the only city that does wrought iron. All the other ones have done chain link. So, yes.
The LA schools and have regular trash in front, right? Does everybody get their own trash can then? Because we have like community trash can.
Yes. Yes. So you get your 60, what is it? 90-gallon roll-off container. If your neighborhood's eligible, you get the recycle bin as well, and you could even do the composting and green organics.
Like say Cox or how does it work for them?
So Cox is one of the utility companies. They have the combination for that third lock. So yeah, the contractors get it, and they should be putting it on their work order so that they know how to get in. And then anybody else you have doing work, you would have to coordinate with your contractor or anybody else doing work at your house to use the alley if they needed to use the alley. Nelson.
Hi, everybody. My name is Nelson. Real quick, I came from Willow, so I'm a little late, but I'm with the office of Councilman Lord Pastor. Adam seems like the go-to guy, so honestly, you should go to him. Sometimes we're gonna some work. So we'll take your call. We'll take your frustration and whatever you want to throw at us, we'll take it. But usually we try to follow up with people within a week to get back quicker. So I have this part here with street cleanup that we're doing as well. Information on that, but.
So there's no more questions. I'll wrap up. What I'm just saying, Frank will be coming next month to talk about the enforcement of the rest of our engagement. What we do. Frank has graciously worked the area where we have vacancy for a year. Here, I'm in the process. I have a second interview process next week to get the position filled toward the district. So if everything goes well, we approve the candidate, we'll have a permanent person for the area. Frank has been, I'm glad to hear that. He's been great. Fill in, and he still has his own responsibility. Appreciate it.
I just had one more quick question. That the 8 alleys, homeowner and the average have
that's an alley abandonment process. You could do that regardless of the acre. So if you want to abandon your alley, an application for you to do that, if you would pay as part of that, and then if it's successful, you pay, there's a, the formula they use to, determine how much that portion of land would cost you in the property. And then it's abandoned, but they can't do that in all cases. They could abandon the alley, but you might not be able to close it because, utilities still run underneath or overhead in the majority of our alleys. There's some that don't, and so those situations are nice. Then,
I can put lights in our block wall.
yeah. Now, if you're gonna do that, don't do that before it's gated. If you do it before, you won't get it outside the property. Okay, anything else? Here's, I brought just a handful of, I brought the program flyers and FAQs. Easiest way to get in touch with the program is gatedalley@phoenix.gov. Phone number is 602-524-0742. Leave a message, we'll call you back. The live person won't answer, we'll get the message. Call. Emails, we get those as we talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for giving up your Thursday night. I heard there was some sort of sports ball on, so if you missed that, or here in the time, we appreciate you. I'm sorry. But thanks for coming here instead. We hope you learned a lot tonight. We hope you are proud of your community tonight and very glad. Yeah.
I am here on behalf of the Cycle, just over here, so this is regarding Pearson. Obviously, we're not with Robert